Welcome back to the Untouchaballs podcast. Caden and Evan here, bringing you another NFL draft prospect top five, just like we did last week, but this time for defense. Evan, how we doing today?
I'm great, Caden. How about yourself?
Hey, I'm doing good too. We're now less than a week away from the NFL draft. So we have this today. We're going to give you guys our top five edge rushers, cornerbacks, and safeties in this year's NFL draft. And then next Wednesday, we will have our full first round mock draft come out for you guys the day before the actual NFL draft. So yeah, today we're going to go edge rushers, corners, and then safeties in that order, just like we did last week with the offensive players. Go 1 through 5, give our thoughts on these players, why we have them there, why we like them. And then, yeah, hopefully, in the long run, we end up being right. Probably not going to be the case, but you never know.
Yeah.
Today we'll start off edge rushers if you want to go first here, Ev.
All right. Yeah. So, like we're saying before the pod, it's kind of like top three are kind of consensus of the three who they are, but it's kind of been everyone kind of has a different take.
Different order, yep.
For me, I have David Bailey as my number one from Texas Tech. I think he had 14 and a half sacks last year. I was looking at big kid, 6'3", 250. Looks like I saw a couple highlights. Looks like he moves well. Really took a step forward from like his 23 and 24 season. They're kind of like he had 5 and 7 sacks. And he just kind of took a huge bump last year. For me, yeah, he's my number one.
Okay, yeah. Hey, not against that. Bailey is my number 3 that I have for the edge rushers. It's just, I like him, but it seems like for him, for one, he's not great against the run, at least as of right now. And he's not the most bendy of edge rushers, where he's got an amazing speed rush. Like, he can get off the ball quick, just beat offensive linemen, the tackles that way, but he doesn't really have any of those secondary moves yet. So the one thing, like, that's the only thing that kind of really holds him back. Like, yeah, he's got really good pressure at the quarterbacks, towards the quarterbacks, and great size, like you said, at the 6'3", 250 size, ran a 4.5 40 as well. So he's really quick. It's just, can he develop some of that secondary stuff to get past some of these more elite offensive tackles? And how can he do against the runner? My kind of only concerns here with David Bailey. So that's why I have him at number 3 instead of my number 1 spot.
Gotcha.
My number 1, though, is Arvell Reese from Ohio State. He's kind of like this hybrid type player where he played both edge and off-ball linebacker for the Buckeyes these last couple years. It's looking like he's going to become a full-time edge once we get to the NFL, and I do like what we see out of Arvell Reese. 6'4", 240, good arm length, 4.46 40, and he had good production last year and where he wasn't a full-time edge rusher, but even still was a first-team All-Big Ten, an All-American, finalist for the Butkus Award, and then 10 TFLs, 6.5 sacks, 2 pass breakups. I just think he's got a little better. He's got more of a complete package than someone like a David Bailey, and you could really see him kind of like. It's a high comparison, but he's kind of like the Micah Parsons when he was coming out of Penn State, where he was used in both that off-ball linebacker and edge rusher type of role for the Nittany Lions, and then Arvell Reese for the Buckeyes, and then when you look at it, they both are really good athletes, can have the different types of moves. Arvell Reese, I think, is also better against the run than someone like David Bailey. So I do like Arvell Reese there. He's my number 1 for the edge rushers.
How high do you think a guy like him could go?
I mean, I think the Jets are going to take either Arvell Reese or David Bailey at number 2.
Oh, really? And then do you
Yeah.
think the other one goes third too? Like you think they're gonna go 2, 3?
No, well, the Cardinals are interesting, but I do think we see Arvell Reese and David Bailey both go inside the top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, yeah, I have him as my number 2. I thought like you kind of said. The only reason I didn't have him as high is just because you look at his numbers don't look overwhelming, like awesome or anything.
Yeah, but you can't just look at the numbers because, I mean, sacks, yeah, but it's also like, does he have a good pressure rate and maybe just not getting there in time for the actual sack and stuff? Yeah, I mean, yeah, David Bailey, 14.5 sacks, but also playing in the Big 12 versus the Big 10, which in my eyes is also a better conference,
Yeah.
better offensive lineman, I think, for sure as well in there. So I think it just the stats definitely obviously tell a story, But I think you got to, especially when you're looking at something like edge rusher trying to predict, you got to maybe look a little bit past just the 14 and a half sacks Bailey did have.
All right, man. To each his own.
Yeah.
Should I go with my number 3 now?
No, I'll go my, well, I'd assume your three's my two, so
Yeah.
is it Ruben Bain?
Yeah.
Give your Ruben Bain spiel, then I'll go mine.
Oh. He has more sacks. No, the other thing is like that Miami defense is really good. We see them produce a lot of really good NFL talent. I mean,
Yep.
out of that class alone, edge rushers and stuff. So, I always I do take drafting guys out of from specific colleges position wise. I can talk about think of offensive linemen, think of Iowa. Drafting from places that have success getting guys, and Ruben Bain's kind of that next mold. I feel like, I mean, yeah, you could put him just in there with Reese and Bailey in my eyes.
Yeah, I think for sure. I mean, I think we'll see these three guys go very early in the draft. I think easily all three top 15, if not earlier, for all three of them. I think we could see all three go inside the top 10. If, let's say Arvell Reese goes 2 to the Jets, then you have David Bailey, maybe the Giants at 5 or somewhere in that range, and then maybe the Bengals at 10 go Ruben Bain. I mean, he's got some of the off the field stuff that came out a couple days ago, obviously with
He's a dog.
Was in a fatal car crash back in 2021. But there's no criminal charges. Apparently, all the teams have been in the loop on this, throughout the combine and all the pre-draft evaluations. And looking at Ruben Bain as a player, yeah, I mean 6'3", 275, so definitely the heaviest out of these top 3 edge rushers. But I mean, it shows he's a good run defender as well. We'll use your stats, Dwyer. 9.5 sacks last year for a Miami defensive line, which was really incredible, and it really showed up in that college football playoff, where that defense really is what helped them get to that national championship game, just causing havoc with Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor, who, spoiler alert, we might talk about a little bit later in this edge rusher conversation. But Ruben Bain, I think he's going to be a great player in the NFL. Really, these top 3 edge rushers, I think, are all going to be very high-quality players.
First-round picks, all 3, you think?
I think all top 15, if not top 10.
Wow. You think all top 5 rushers we say are going to get drafted in the first round?
It's definitely possible.
Yeah.
I think, if not, early round 2.
Being is the deepest position in the draft?
It's either this or wide receiver.
Interesting.
Because, I'll just name a couple guys maybe that, I mean, I don't have on my list. Maybe you do, so I might be spoiling something. But someone like Zion Young from Missouri, I think, is a really good edge rusher, could provide a lot of depth, good quality for some of these teams. We won't see him most likely go round 1, or Malachi Lawrence out of UCF. He could sneak into round 1. I know people are starting to become more and more high on him as it goes. He's looking like a really good edge rusher prospect, out of UCF. Just guys like that. And so I think this or wide receiver is definitely the deepest positions in this class. Well, I know we talked about doing the offense. It's not the best draft class in recent memory. I do think you will find some studs in the edge rusher and wide receiver department.
Interesting.
Who's your number 4, Dev?
So, I mean, from analysts and stuff I was looking at, other lists, I felt like consistently I saw a lot of TJ Parker at this number 4 position out of Clemson. Again, he only had 5 sacks last year, go by his stats. But, I don't know, he's a guy I always saw on lists. Bigger guy. I felt like he's a lot bigger than these other guys we've been talking about. I think he's 270, 265 or something like that. So a little bigger than the other guys. But, yeah, I mean, he's played for 3 years. I think he had a little bit of a down year this past year compared to the year before.
It seemed like all of Clemson did.
Yeah.
Really, last year.
I mean, yeah, Klubnik, man. Not my boy, but.
Your boy.
Yeah, I still think, he's still talented. I don't think he had any injuries or anything, so I like him.
I like TJ Parker. He was my number 6 there, actually, for the edge rusher. He's the one who just missed the cut, because I do like a couple of the guys better we're about to talk about. And then, and my number 4 here is actually Keldrick Falk out of Auburn. I think he's easily the best run stopper out of all the edge rushers in this draft. The best just overall run defender in in this draft. You look at it, hey, only 2 sacks last year if we want to go back to that, but he did have 7.5 or 7 in 2024. He's still a high pressure guy, which we saw throughout the season for Auburn. Causes a lot of pressure, just wasn't able to complete the sacks. Even still at 6'6", 285, just an absolute run stuffer, just big boy like you just said there. I think while he might not have the highest ceiling out of some of these edge rushers, I do think his floor is really solid with being able to get in there, get in on any of these like run downs, run situations, just be there, stop some of these outside runs, just be able to stuff it up right there. So yeah, Keldrick Falk there as my number 4.
Yeah, he's my 5. Yeah, he might
Okay.
be. You think he moves to nose tackle one day?
Puts on a little more weight, maybe. Yeah,
285, he's almost there.
it's true. You got nothing on him? Just
I mean, yeah, like you said, big good boy, run stopper. I mean, yeah, there's not much more I have to say. Yeah, I mean, like you said, he's not gonna get like you're not gonna see him as like a. He's gonna be a boring player, but a very handy player to whoever gets him. You know what I mean? Like he's not gonna be like you said, he's not gonna be a stat filler in the sense of sacks and putting up these like crazy highlight reels. But like when you talk about a valuable defensive player, I mean, stopping the run, yeah, I mean that's everything in some cases. We see a lot of teams. I mean, especially the last couple of years in the NFL, I feel like it's kind of been shifting more towards that running back. Like those teams with the really good run games are the ones that really are able to thrive. Record wise and even in playoffs and stuff like that. I mean, you look at these teams, it really makes a difference. So if you're able to stuff that, that's huge. So, Mr.
Falk.
Mr. Falk.
And I mean, I do think he could get up to like a 7 to 10 sack a season type of player. And I do like another thing, like if you get him next to an elite edge rusher, like hear me out here, Ev. Put him opposite Micah Parsons on that Packers D line. I think that's kind of the mold I think you could get somewhere where you could reach the full potential of Keldrick Falk, where you have one of the better, more elite pass rushers on one side. You get him on the other side. He won't be seeing the double teams. He'll be able to cause more pressure, get to the quarterback more often because of that. And then also you get to the running downs, just be able to stuff it up there as well. And that just leaves, my number 5, which mentioned earlier, it's Akeem Mesidor, the opposite side edge of the Miami Hurricanes duo with him and Ruben Bain. One of the knocks on him really is he's already 25 years old. So he's definitely older in this draft class, but what we saw last year, 12.5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, just him and Bain in that throughout the season, and especially in that college football playoff, not letting quarterbacks be able to do really anything, not being able to let running backs do much. Mesidor's got good size too, 6'3", 280. I think he's a good run stuffer, has great moves to be able to get to the quarterback. One thing kind of holding him back that maybe would have had him a little higher is just he's already 25 years old, a little older there, especially compared to some of these other edge rushers. Like someone like Keldrick Falk's only 21. So big difference there. He's got, I guess you could say, some more experience that way. Even still, really like me some Akeem Mesidor. I think he'll probably go first round at some point. And then you could just see, I think, a very productive, kind of more off the start just with the experience. So we might see a little flashier rookie season out of him to maybe a Falk or one of the other guys just because he has that type of experience. But I do think he's a high floor player and could get you some good highs in his career, like put up a 12, 15 sack season at some point.
Yeah, you'll take that out of any round pick, honestly.
Any round pick if you get 12 sacks, that's good. So yeah, hey, edge rusher, it's a good class. Cause you mentioned T.J. Parker, who wasn't on my list. Zion Young was on neither of our lists. Like you could keep kind of going down because edge rusher, it's a very deep, very good draft class. This, like I know we were kind of talking about during the offensive one where I said I think at least 4 receivers go in the first round. The over under actually is 5.5 on sports books.
For wide receivers?
Yeah. It's juiced to the under, but like pretty heavily. But I think edge rusher, like, I
No
mean,
way. Yeah.
I'll check this real quick because I do want to see.
Take a
They're
guess right
probably.
now before you
I
go
think
through
it'll
it.
probably also be 5.5
Wow.
because I mean it's a deep class. Let's see, we have player over. No, round one pick. Where did I find this last time? Oh, here it is. No, cornerbacks, offensive quarterbacks, running backs. Yeah, safeties is at 2.5. Wide receivers. Oh, my bad. Those odds shifted. Wide receivers is now -155 over 5.5. So they think Denzel Boston and Casey Concepcion get in there, as well as Omar Cooper, Jordan Tyson, Makai Lemon, and Carnell Tate.
It's kind of crazy.
And I guess they just didn't want to have defensive linemen on this. So I don't. It doesn't say. I still think you probably put the over on around 5.5 as well because you're gonna get your Bain, Reese, Bailey. You're most likely going to get a Key Mesidor, most likely going to get Keldrick Falk. TJ Parker's up there. Malachi Lawrence, like who I mentioned at UCF, he's been added to a lot of conversations. You got Cassius Howell out of Texas A&M, who's been in this conversation. He's a little lower on my list because I think he's more just kind of a designated pass rusher type of player. Like you're not really going to put him in a lot of run situations. He's don't have the shorter arms and stuff, but he's been in conversations to go back end first round. So I guess that's going to be an interesting question. Who do you think has more go in the first round? Wide receivers or edge rushers?
I would say edge rushers. Because I think you could always add another edge rusher. You know what I mean? Like you can't go wrong there. Where I think, and I feel like they're a lot less like risky in a sense. Like I think there's definitely a lot of risks. I mean, like compared to a wide receiver, I feel like a wide receiver like we
Go
see.
on.
I don't know. I feel like when we see wide receivers, it's very like I don't want to say hit or miss, but it really is. Where I think for the most part, I feel like edge rushers or just defensive players in general, although they might not be like might not find the Jamar Chases that type of different. I mean, you still can, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they're a little safer of a position to draft than a wide receiver.
They just like an overall blanket higher floor than maybe the wide receiver position.
Yeah, and then just in general, not even just this class, but
Okay, hey, not against that, yeah, for sure. And with that, hey, let's move on to our second position here, which is the cornerback position, which it's got a lot of exciting talent here. Some dudes who I definitely think could be stud number one corners in the future in the NFL.
yeah. I felt like I was kind of in between. Obviously, the two names, there's two guys.
I think everyone is.
Yeah, I'm gonna go here with the experience. I'm gonna go that Mansour, Delane, whatever.
Mansour Delane.
Yes.
We know you're a name expert.
Yeah, exactly. I'm expert, master in the degrees. Anyways, yeah, I just like him just because I've seen him do it for longer. You know what I mean? We've only seen two seasons out of that Tennessee kid. I feel like he's a little safer. I mean, they literally, I think the measuring wise, I think they literally are like the same size, height and weight wise. So like, I don't see any difference between that. Both put up great years last year.
Ron McCoy didn't play last year.
25?
Yeah, he had a torn ACL.
Oh, that was.
He played in 23 and 24.
Oh, wow.
Had a torn ACL last year, and that's why he didn't play.
That's why he's a junior and he only has 2 years. Interesting. Fun. I can't believe man, he was a dog then. Like he was gonna be like top 3 pick if he didn't.
I mean, I'll say this now because I mean, Delane's also my number one, and it's because of the injury to Jamal McCoy. We'll see how he comes back from the ACL. It's looking like he's starting to get fully healthy. Sucks he didn't test or anything at the combine. Just kind of went there for medical evaluations, but it looks like he's getting healthy, going to be ready. If it wasn't like I don't know, if it wasn't an ACL and it was something else that kept him out last year, I would probably have Jamal McCoy as my number one because I think his 2024 tape is better than any year of Mansour Delane. it's just a little bit of injury concern there. And even though I do like Mansour Delane a lot, where yeah, he was that true lockdown corner for LSU last year after transferring from Virginia Tech, and looked incredible for that secondary. And I do think he can be a really good wide receiver, 6 foot 190, so decent enough size right there. I think yeah, he's a very good talent, and I have him number one ever so slightly just because of the Jamal McCoy injury.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about McCoy, man. I mean, how good you have to be like, you still probably would be on most people's number ones, even if you didn't play at all last year. Like, that's
Well,
how
I mean,
good.
it's like Derek Stingley
Mm,
that
yeah,
didn't play his final year and then still went, what was it, number like 4 or whatever to the Texans, and
yeah,
he's one of the best corners in the league.
yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, you hit on the head there, man. Like, it might be a little bit more risky going McCoy. I mean, again, I think they're both top 15 picks.
Uh it's interesting with the corner. I mean, I do think we could see Mansour Delane or Jamal McCoy go anywhere. Like I think the Chiefs at 9 could be interesting for one of these guys. Obviously, they traded away Trent McDuffie, lost a lot of corners in the offseason. So I think the Chiefs could definitely be someone for one of these guys. The Cowboys as well at 12, I think are definitely in line for either a McCoy or Delane. A little bit. I mean, I think easily both are first round picks. Top 15 gets a little interesting, but if I had to pick one way or the other, I would say yes, they would both be top 15 picks in my eyes.
Okay, interesting. Cool.
Because yeah, I mean, yeah, McCoy's my number two. Like you, it's just his 2024 was so elite for Tennessee. It's just if it wasn't for the injury, he might be even higher of a prospect than some of the other guys, like some of the edge rushers, or even someone like a Caleb Downs, who we'll get to here in a little bit. Definitely higher than Mansour Lane. It's just yeah, we didn't see him play all of 2025, and he's coming off an ACL tear, which is not great for someone, especially at the cornerback position. But what he's shown when he's been on the field is an elite lockdown number one corner for years to come.
Mm, love it.
Now we get to the interesting part of the cornerback position, though. This 3 through 5 could be all sorts of different players and all sorts of different orders. So I'm
Yep.
excited to hear who you got at number 3 here, Dwyer.
Yeah, so my number three is Chris Johnson out of
Hey,
San Diego State.
San
I
Diego
mean,
State.
Tennessee Titans. No. Um, it's funny. Like, he literally comps same thing. Like, I always I prefer big corners compared to smaller corners. Like 6 foot corners that's fine for me. But like they're literally all like 6 foot 190, 185. Like they're all right there. And he's
I
just
mean,
right
that's
there.
what Chris Johnson is, yeah.
Literally. Um, and I mean, like, he had a great last year. 4 picks last year. 2 tutties too. That's pretty sick.
Hey,
Uh, I mean, yeah, he's played 4 years. Pretty consistent player. I think he's a solid corner. I don't think you could go wrong with Chris Johnson here.
I love Chris Johnson as well. He's also my number 3. I mean, you already saw some good tape for him at San Diego State. The one kind of knock there is that it was at San Diego State playing in the Mountain West.
Yeah.
Even with that, averaged 1.7 pass deflections a game. So he's great ball hawk there, like you said, the 4 picks as well. And then he tested really well at the combine. Ran a 4.440 with a 1.54 10-yard split, 38-inch vert. So one of the more athletic corners we have as well here in this draft. And while we're still talking about some of these top guys, like someone we'll get to here in a minute, like someone like I'd assume you might probably have on your list, like an Avion Terrell. I think he might be more of an inside type corner just because of his size. I think Chris Johnson, with being the 6 foot 190, having that type of athleticism, I do think he could very well stick on the outside here in the NFL and be one of those outside corners where with either a number 1 or number 2 for a defense. And yeah, love me some Chris Johnson, even though it was, Mountain West football he was playing. I still think he has the traits to be an amazing corner in the NFL.
Love to hear it. That's good. That's good. So my number 4, I'm actually going back to Tennessee here. I'm going Colton Hood.
Okay.
I was looking again, measured up 6 foot 195. They're all the same circa size. Had a really good year last year. I mean, I guess he kind of filled in that number 1 DB role for McCoy, you could say.
Yeah.
And I thought he did a good job. Yeah, I mean, nothing really stands out with his stats, but also I feel like that's also a good thing though. Like, you don't see like a high average per catch for wide receivers on him and stuff like that. So,
Hmm.
uh, yeah,
Yeah. Hey, I like Colton Hood. I do think he's definitely in conversations to sneak into like back end first round or like early second round type picks. He is outside my top five. I like him. It's just I like the next couple guys I'm going to talk about better. Like he's Colton Hood's probably that 6 or 7 on my list. Actually, one of those two is just because at number 4, like I mentioned, I got Avion Terrell from Clemson. He's an amazing corner, really athletic, plays the ball really well, stays with his receivers. He's just a little bit of a smaller corner comparatively to some of these other guys, 5'11", 180. So he might not be able to stick on the outside and be one of those guys, but I do think he could be an incredible nickel corner. Really lock down those inside slot type wide receivers. I mean, was really good for the Tigers last year, really one of their true only bright spots for that team last year, which was just such a down bad season, like we mentioned, where three sacks also out of the corner position, 5 forced fumbles, had 9 pass deflections to go along with it. I really love me some Avion Terrell. It's going to be interesting, especially if you get him in a defense which already has maybe a good outside corner and you can throw him on the inside. Look out for him to be roaming the skies for a while as an elite nickel corner.
yeah, kid. He's my number 5, like you said, a little smaller. That's why I have him at 5. But like you said, I mean, he did it for 2 years too, 2 really good years there at Clemson. He said there are obviously some limitations to his game, but like that doesn't mean he's still very. I mean, if you're guarding a slot wide receiver, I mean, sometimes you see some of the best wide receivers in the NFL go
Yep.
and play in the slot, so it's like that's just as valuable, man. Um, so yeah, he's my 5.
Then yeah, my number 5, I have him ahead of Colton Hood just because I think the potential is higher than someone like Colton Hood, and that is Brandon Cisse out of South Carolina. The same size that we've been talking about, Dwyer, 6 foot 190. But with that size, he's just had a 41-inch vertical at the combine, just shy of 11-foot broad jump. Probably the most, in my eyes, athletic corner in this year's draft class. Just with the already like the same size as some of these other guys, but just the athleticism that you see on the field, on the tape. Last year for Clemson, or not Clemson, I had my bad teams from last year. The Gamecocks, who were also very disappointing last year. He still was incredible. 1.5 TFLs, pick, 5 pass breakups, a forced fumble. Just, I mean, really showed that while he was at NC State before that, but really showed what he could do last year at South Carolina for what was a bad defense, and he was really a bright spot for that defense last year. I think while Colton Hood might be a little more proven as a corner so far, I just think the upside with the athletic ability and some of the flashes we've seen out of Cisse bolts him ahead into my top 5 over him.
I can see that, man. I understand that.
Just that just made me remember how high I was on South Carolina going into the year. If you remember our stock market,
Sellers was the quarterback.
hey,
Lenore
just
Sellers.
wait. Just wait till we do this stuff back at the start of August. I'm gonna be high on Lenore Sellers again.
There
I
we go.
might even be high on South Carolina again because Lenore Sellers, I still love as a quarterback. Think he's gonna be incredible. It will be, in my eyes, a first round pick next year.
Wow.
One of the top quarterbacks taken, and what should be a really good quarterback class. Actually, I know this is off topic, but I saw. Damn, I wish I remember who said it, but he's like, Fernando Mendoza is really benefiting by how weak of a quarterback class this is into being bolted into the number 1 pick. And
Yeah.
I mean, I can't disagree.
Who do
'Cause
you
I
think's going to
think,
be the consensus? Like, who's going to be the head, like, top quarterback people are talking about going next year as like the first overall pick quarterback type player?
I mean, Arch Manning obviously
Well,
is.
yeah, even though he had a bad year.
He did not, I mean, it was not a bad year. It wasn't maybe as great. I mean, it started off bad. I will give you that. But I still think Arch Manning has the potential. I mean, he's really mobile, has really good arm strength. Just get another year under his belt, obviously, because he'd only
Yeah.
played 1 year. I think Lenore Sellers is going to be up there. Got a couple guys that I'm now forgetting about because Sam Levitt. Need to get back into college football brain for that, but we'll be
Yeah.
talking about it in the coming months.
You got time.
Yeah, I do think next year's quarterback class will be really, really good in my eyes. I mean, we'll see obviously how it goes because.
The Oregon kid. Uh,
Oh yeah, who should have been the second overall pick in this year's
yeah,
draft?
yeah.
Dante Moore.
I'll tell you more.
Yeah, he easily. I know we talked about this, a couple months ago, but it still makes zero sense, Dwyer. Dante Moore was going to be easily a top five pick in this year's draft. If he didn't go to the Jets at two, I could easily see the Cardinals at three taking
He's
him.
definitely going Jets. 100% going to get Jets.
Maybe,
Just they
yeah.
want to
Like,
get Jets.
I guess it's just like, hey, he better have a good year this year.
See that?
Better
He
not
actually
get hurt.
NIL. He had gotten a ton of that NIL.
Better not get hurt. Better have another good year. Because when you're going to go second overall,
You're not. You gotta be.
you're risking a lot.
There's only one higher pick you could actually.
Yeah.
A tougher class. I doubt you see him go that high, but
But yeah, I do like Dante. Thank you for remembering him because I completely forgot. He should be a really good quarterback as well. Should be in this draft class. But weird. NIL's making everything so strange and weird.
you already know.
That's for a different, time, different topic. We're talking defensive players today, Av.
Yeah,
And we got one position left, and that is safeties, which I do think is also a really intriguing position in this year's draft. Well, I said, I think we talked about it some last week. This is just in my eyes at least, a much better defensive draft class than offensive, where you have the really good edge rusher class. I think you got some high end top corners, and I think you could have the potential to be a very nice safety class as well.
I mean, like you said, like literally all these guys we're talking about could be first round picks. Where like
Yeah.
end up in the
It gets a little different when we get to the safeties here, but because that's such a
main positions though. Yeah, like all 10 of those guys could have been and more could have been first round picks. You know what I mean? Which was kind of crazy. But yeah, starting off, pretty consensus. I feel like it's Caleb Downs here.
yeah.
Just a stud over in Ohio State. I don't know how much has to be said about him. They a couple
Yeah,
really-
not much. I mean, he's so good.
you think he's
Two
gonna go-
incredible years at Alabama, and then transfers to Ohio State without Nick Saban, or my bad, 1 year at Alabama. Then Nick Saban retired, so he went to Ohio State. Was incredible for that team last year. Just in my eyes, probably the third best player in this draft class.
Yeah, so you think he goes third overall?
No. I think just overall power rankings of the draft class, I think he's probably number three. It's going to be interesting just because, he's a safety, and that is historically been a position that teams don't value as much in the draft. So he's not going to go as high as maybe you would think for a player of his caliber just because of his position. Even still, I do think it could be interesting. Chiefs at 9, Bengals at 10, like somewhere like that. Like, could be interesting. Maybe even the Cowboys if, like, let's say Jamal McCoy and Mansour Delane go like at 9 and 10, and then you get to Cowboys at 12. Caleb Downs is still there. I think that could easily happen. Dolphins at 11, I think could be interesting. 'Cause, yeah, I mean, he's just an incredible player. Really good in the box. You could throw him if you want to at like a nickel corner position, kind of like what the Seahawks did with. Oh no, now I'm drawing a blank on my dude. I loved you so much coming out of the draft. No, he was a rookie last year. Safety out of South Carolina. They use him in the nickel a lot. I was in love with him, especially after his combine.
I think I remember you talking about. I don't remember his name though.
I don't know. I'll just keep talking about Caleb Downs while I search this up. But yeah, Caleb Downs, he's one of the best players in the draft, and he's shown it year in, year out. Just show like throughout his three careers, he's also been touted as one of the the best leaders that we've seen. We've heard that a lot out of his Ohio State teammates, that he was one of the biggest leaders of the clubhouse, and that's what you like to see out of someone like your safety, who could be a true just kind of star day one. I'd say for any team that drafts him, no matter what it is. And yeah, I love Caleb Downs. Not much more to talk about with him, and I finally found it. Nicky Memori. I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. Love Nicky. He was an athletic freak, and the Seahawks did really well with him. Whether it was moving him playing him at safety, they moved him inside the nickel. He was like a 6'2", 200, ran a 4.3 something 40. I love Nicky Milwarney. Caleb Downs, I think, is a similar type player where you can use him as safety or put him in the box down low, throw him in a nickel roll, can stuff the run some, can be a good coverage guy. Caleb Downs is top three player in the draft.
There's nothing else he could do really in college to really. He's done it
Exactly.
all. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
yeah. My second, I have that kid from Oregon, Dylan Thielman.
Say it again.
Thielman? Thieneman?
Thieneman.
Thieneman? Whatever. Anyways, yeah, I thought he had a really good year last year. I mean, he's actually had a really good, solid career, I thought.
Yep.
Right around the same size as him, too. 6', 205. Yeah, I don't really remember too much about the Oregon's defense being really good, but yeah,
It was.
He actually lives pretty. He's from Indiana too. Love to see that.
Westfield.
Yeah, that's cool. It's a couple hours away.
Okay. And that's why you like him.
That's it. That's all I got.
Nah. I also have Thieneman as my number 2. It's looking like he's definitely going to be a first round pick this year. And great season at Oregon. Played, the safety position really well, where 3.5 TFLs, a sack, 2 picks, 5 pass breakups, statistical wise. And then at the combine, ran a 4.3 5.40, which is blazing speed, especially at 6', 201. Followed that up with a 1.52 10-yard split, 41-inch vert, 10.5-foot broad jumps. One of the more athletic, not only safeties, but just players we have in this draft class. Gets to the ball well. Think he could be, I know it's mocked a lot, but I do think if he's there at 18, the Vikings won't hesitate to take him, be that Harrison Smith replacement for that defense, and just be a good day one starter for really whatever team takes him to help lock down that safety position.
He would be a Harrison Smith replacer. That would make
What?
sense.
Because he's white?
Hey man, I don't know.
Kind of looks like him, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit. Something. Same. I don't know. Anyways,
The same type of, grit, lunch pail type guy.
high IQ.
High IQ. Hard worker. First in, last one out.
Good route runner. Good route reader. Good route reader.
Route
Anyway.
reader.
My number 3, I'm taking this kid. Oh, I'm taking him. I'm picking. Again, I'm not picking him. Emmanuel.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bigger dude too, 6'2", 202 for a safety. Again, his stats look electric. It's just I'm assuming what you're probably gonna say too. It's like he played for the Toledo Rockets, dude.
He played in that Maction, baby. Midweek Maction.
Yeah, like how much? That's the only thing he's got against him that's holding him back. But I feel like, he proved every bit that he's a dude out in Toledo.
Yeah, great size, 6'3", 201. 4'5", 240, 158, 10-yard split, good athleticism. And yeah, there is the knock, with him playing at Toledo. But I will just point out my boy Quinyon Mitchell for the Eagles. He also came out of Toledo. And he's been incredible on this Eagles defense. Maybe we just need to put some respect on the Toledo defensive backs. Maybe they just breed defensive backs now, and that's their thing. Because Quinyon Mitchell's a dog. Love me some Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Before the combine, he was my number 2 safety in this draft class. It's just the way Thieneman tested could just kind of moved him ahead for me a little bit. I do think they are really close to each other, though. I think it's Caleb Downs that you got the drop off right here, and it's Thieneman and McNeil Warren. Because I do think both of them can be really incredible safeties. That size from Warren, I think, is awesome, getting him at 6'3". Kind of like Thieneman, I think he can be plug and play day one at that safety position for whatever team takes him, and just really help in the secondary starting game one his rookie season.
Yeah, 100%. You think he's like second rounder then?
No, it's going to be interesting because I do think for sure we see Downs and Thieneman go first round. I know I kind of just said this with when I was talking edge rush or whatever, but like if I had to put money on it, I do think I do think we see him go round one.
Okay.
Like if the options were Maynard McNeil Warren round one or later, my money would be put on round one because I do think when we get to this back half of the first round, after Thieneman and Downs go, maybe McNeil Warren even goes before Thieneman, just depending on what teams like better. Because I do think those two are that close to each other, and in that range of like the 16 to that back half of the first round, I think it's very possible we see both those safeties go.
Yeah, I like to hear it. Nice. All right, I'll just go to my four.
Yeah.
My number four, again, I saw in a lot of lists. I thought it was pretty consensus. I saw AJ Halsey. Is that how you say his name?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, you got that one
He's
right.
He's in my number four. Good college career. Nothing. I mean, 6 foot, 220, a little bigger, a little chunkier for a safety. I don't hate
Yeah.
I like that, but good career. Played some SEC football.
Was
Maybe
in that
doesn't have
second there with
crazy
Mansour Delane last year.
Yeah, he's been, yeah. So I like him there at 4. I feel like he's a safe pick.
Hey, yeah, Halsey, he's my number 5, not my number 4, but I do have him as well here. Just, yeah, I mean, he's got that weight to him, like you said, at 220. So, I mean, definitely more of a, a hard-hitting type safety, a downhill type guy. And I do think that's going to go really well for him. I mean, 89 tackles last year, still had 3 picks, a forced fumble. And I just think, yeah, he's an all-around type of good player. Maybe not the highest ceiling out of some of these other safeties. And that's kind of why he's my number 5 instead of who I have my number 4. I do think, like you said, he's got a pretty good floor to him. I think he could be a good run stuffing type of safety for the position. And yeah, while he might not flash on the stat sheets, kind of like someone like a Keldrick Falk, being able to stop the run game is big, and I think he could really help improve in that.
Love to see him there.
My number 4, which I'll go to now, is a dude who he played corner in college, but all the projections and everything make it look like he's going to become a safety in the NFL. And I think that's a great position for him, and that's Traden Stukes out of Arizona. Just shy of 6'1", 190. So he's got the good size there. Ran a 4.3, 340, 1.5, 10-yard split with a 10-10 broad jump. And yeah, I mean, first team All Big 12, had 4 picks, 52 tackles, a sack, 6 pass breakups last year. He played cornerback. All the stuff that's saying, though, is the reason I'm putting my safety is because a lot of the draft evaluators, a lot of these NFL insiders, they have Traden Stukes playing safety in the NFL. So I think it's worth putting him in here because I wanted to talk about Traden Stukes. I really like him. He probably wasn't going to make my top 5. He wasn't, not probably, he wasn't going to make my top 5 corners. And you know how I said Colton Hood was like 6 or 7? When we were talking about corners, it's because Traden Stukes is kind of right there with Colton Hood if you were to have him as a corner. But as a safety, which even ESPN, I guess, calls him now, when you're looking at his page, I think he can be at that size, 6'2", 195. Just really good size. Just be able to shut it down in the sky, be a good, as you put it, route reader.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Yeah. Cover the skies, be locked down, be a great last line of defense for a defense, and be like some of these other guys, like I mentioned before, and why I had him also ahead of AJ Halsey, is be a very productive day 1, game 1 of rookie year starter.
I love hearing it, Caden. Sorry, my list just. Give me like 1 second.
Hey, you're all good. We just need your number 5 safety.
I know, that's it. It's so sad because it's like I just wanted to go check the score of the Cubs game, and then my list just got.
They're up 8-3.
Oh, I know that now.
You could, hey. I know it's off topic, but I have Cubs money line right now, so I'm watching
Edward
the game.
Cabrera is
Yeah.
crazy. Edward Cabrera, betting on him's crazy. Anyways, I was
Well,
kind of shocked.
it was more betting against the Mets not being able to hit, and Kodai Senga being whatever.
Yeah. But my number five, I was kind of shocked that you didn't see him on the list because it's from your favorite school of all time out in
You're going.
South Carolina. We're going Jalen Kilgore.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go Michael Taff out of Texas. Hook him.
No, no. I was going Jalen
Hey,
Kilgore.
Kilgore's nice.
He's nice. He's solid, man. 6'1", 211. Had a good year last year. Had a great year in 24. Had 5 picks in 24, man. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
South Carolina's just like Clemson, Dwyer. They showed a lot of good signs. In 24, looked like a really good football team, and then 25 was a big letdown.
See, that's the teams, though, man. I care about the players.
I
And
know.
I guess he didn't have the same type of year. It's also hard. It's a lot of luck for safety to picks, I feel like.
Yeah,
So, anyways, he's my number five. Because I'm a bigger Gamecocks fan than you, clearly.
clearly, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know though, because I had Brandon Cisse and you didn't, so I guess it evens out. I know. I like Kilgore. He was actually yeah. He was my number six. Well, yeah, no, he was my number six. It's just decided to throw Traden Stukes in there because like I said, he projects as a safety in the NFL. Wanted to talk about him because I think he could be a really good ball player. So I had him there in my four. If I didn't and had him as a corner, Hall, you and me would have the exact same list because Halsey would move up to my four, Kilgore would move up to my five. But love me some Traden Stukes. Think he could be. If the Patriots want to take him in round two, I would not be against that if he gets there. What would that be? Pick 63. Traden
That's
Stukes is
crazy, you know that.
63.
Yeah.
Well, because the
Oh,
Pats
yeah.
are
They don't have
31.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
So that's how that works. Yeah, I know you've been watching the draft for a while, Dwyer. It's 32 picks in a round, and then
Lottery. It's not a lottery. I like the lotteries. I low key.
you
They
like the
might do a lottery
lotteries.
one day. They might do a lottery one day in NFL. Yeah,
That would be insane.
it would be insane, but I wouldn't be shocked at this point because everyone else is doing it. You know.
Yeah, but football, it's like I don't know. I mean, yes, you have your tanking teams, but it's also like you're bad one year, and all of a sudden that changes your fortune. Like the Patriots had back to back bad seasons, but then out of that they got Drake May. The Broncos, well,
Yeah.
they were bad for a while, but then yeah, but it's a little different than like because I mean NBA playoffs just on my mind, and we just didn't have sort of kind of like how they're trying to fix tanking. Like I definitely think it's different there than like what we see in the NFL, where in the NBA teams are deliberately just benching players, having them just try not to play, like making sure like this year was the most 60 loss teams we've ever seen in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy, and there already was a lottery with that, but in the NFL, yeah, you get your perpetually bad teams like the Jets or the Browns, but they make these picks that could make them better, and that's how you build your teams is with getting those top picks. Especially I think also with just how short the NFL season is, it would be. I don't think it would be beneficial to the league if they went to a lottery.
I think it depends because you were saying about benching guys deliberately, like we didn't see that in NFL. I
Well, I
think
mean, you
we see
do
that.
occasionally, but
I think we saw that for the first time in like really last year when it was that not Jets, Giants for the
oh,
Bears game where everybody sat like they're like
oh,
no one.
well, yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
was
think
trying to that was them against the Raiders for the number one pick.
that stuff kind of continues. I feel like you could see a lottery, and also just if you have a lottery, that's another event that the Bears, that the league could just make money off of. Like, oh, the NFL lottery's gonna be happening. Like, please tune in and do that.
That would suck.
That would suck, but it'd make it interesting. I mean, it could really change things in the NFL for sure. I was also thinking about the in this NBA, whatever, and like, how would you fix it? You know what I kind of love that they do in MLB that like probably wasn't even like as high of a thing. I don't think a lot of fans like it, but I kind of respect it now. Is that you can't draft at the top five? Was it 2 years 3 years in a row?
The top? No, I thought it was top three.
Top three. I think it might be five. I don't know. No, it is definitely top five, or something like that. Because then I know because the White Sox were then the number 11th overall pick. Maybe he's top 10 or something. I couldn't.
No, it's not 10 because let's see. The The Rockies took Condon at 3, and then they took Ethan Holiday at 4.
Yeah, 'cause
Keep talking. I need to see.
the Rockies don't
Wait, is
have.
lottery?
They're gonna be the 11th pick. I'm pretty sure now because you can't have it how many years in a row. You can't be in the top. I think you're right with top 5, but I think you move down to like 11th if you're
No, that's what I'm looking.
in a row. That's the lowest you could be, which I think that's a great idea because then like yeah, you could still tank because they're like oh what about if you had the bottom 3 teams with the worst record, you have worse odds at the number 1 overall pick than the guys that are 3 through 10. But I think that just gets confusing. I just think that because like you see that in the NBA like year in year out like you said any sport you see a lot of teams just constantly suck like how we saw with the Jazz this year, and just overall like we see teams that just are sucking year in and
You're
year
right.
out.
Yeah, they can't pick higher than 10th overall.
That's what I'm saying.
So I
So I
guess
think
the Rockies. So the Rockies will have the 10th pick this year.
after having that horrid year,
The worst record in baseball.
so I actually love that rule. I think that's a better way to have that banking team.
Yes, but also, I mean, the Orioles built a very good ball club by. I mean, I don't think it was deliberately being terrible, but they were awful in the late 2010s. Or
Yeah,
the Astros in the early 2010s with like 3 straight 100-loss seasons,
yeah.
and then all of a sudden you have Altuve, you have Correa, you have Bregman.
Well, Tuve wasn't the first overall pick, was he?
No, Bregman was.
Well, Bregman
I
and
think
Brett and Carrera.
yeah.
Well, they were top picks. They were top whatever picks, but it's also farm system though too. I mean,
True. Yeah, I mean
baseball,
it's a little different in baseball because you draft someone and then 4
Dodgers
years
and
later.
stuff, they always have a great farm system. They're never picking in the top 5 ever.
Yeah.
Like, but you do your competitive thing. But hey, yeah, that's baseball. But football, I'm not 100% opposed against a lottery idea.
You'd have to do a lot of convincing to get me on your side, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it would. I don't know how you do it. Maybe like top 10 teams get lotteried or something, or I don't know.
Yeah, you couldn't. Because I do think you probably couldn't do all the teams that missed the playoffs.
No.
It may be like if you did, yeah, probably only like the top 10 or so.
And if you did like lottery protected picks and all that, that'd be crazy.
Oh, see, no, that's so stupid in the NBA where it's like, I mean, we'll see come after lottery, but it's like the Jazz had protections on their pick that they sent to Jaren Jackson Jr. It's like it was the only way
They keep
the Grizzlies got that pick was if it fell in between like picks 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It was like it was protected 1 through 4, and then 8 through the rest of the lottery.
Did you see that kid end up going back to Duke, Boozer? That was kind of crazy.
What?
You see that? Boozer's going back to Duke.
There's no way.
I'm fairly confident. I think I saw that yesterday or this morning.
Well, it just says cryptic. Oh, that's his brother, Caden Boozer.
Oh, whoops.
There's no way I mean, it makes like this is actually kind of on topic because I mean we're talking NFL draft stuff here. It doesn't matter the league when like someone like AJ DeBonza says, "I don't know if I'm gonna declare for the draft. I got to talk to my mom because she wants me to finish my education." Hey, motherfucker, your education's always gonna be there.
Yeah.
Especially if you're the first overall pick and make tens of millions of dollars. Just you could fizzle out. You could be Greg Oden, who was the first overall pick, did nothing in the NBA, and he still was able to go back to Ohio State and finish his degree. You have that opportunity after what you should be. I mean, yeah, focus on your academics or whatnot, but when you're that type of player, you can put that on the back burner a little bit because you'll have the financial ability and just the overall ability to either, like you see it all the time with NFL players, during the offseason in the summer, they'll take classes to finish their degrees. Like you have other times to do it and not just be like, yeah, I don't know, should I hold off being the first overall pick in the draft so I could finish my education?
Staying still, kids.
Like, no, just
That's how that's
you're going to be that high of a
more.
Dr. Moore, it still makes no sense. Yes, obviously. We went over it.
He's getting funny money to go there.
Yeah.
NIL changes.
I mean, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It does change a
the only
lot.
reason,
But you've seen it for years. People try to use that or
no,
try to say that, then they'll declare for the draft
like,
anyways.
if
Because
someone
like,
gives
why the hell would you do
DeVonta,
that?
like, all right, 15 mil, you're coming here, like, it's worth being like, all right, well, I'll just ball out.
That's worth a consideration.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like, I could see it more in today's time than back in the day when like.
But even
they
so, I
still
mean,
get
you're
paid
gonna
back
get.
in the day, but
It's like you're gonna get paid a bag to, I don't know, be a Washington Wizard, or
yeah, but still,
an Atlanta Hawk or Utah Jazz or whatever.
it's like do I want to be a Washington Wizard or should I wait for another team to like?
But hey,
look at
Wizards got
Thunder.
Trey Young and Anthony Davis,
The team's not gonna play. 20
Alex
games.
Sarr.
Alex Sarr's gonna play, but Anthony Davis and Trey Young are gonna play combined 2 weeks together.
Trey Johnson, hook 'em.
NBA, we got to mention Will Barton. Okay, that's a good time to
Yeah.
wrap the podcast up.
It's a great. Hey, the Will Bart mentioned that knows. Hey, I think that was definitely some interesting takes here. You know, talking about our top 5 edges, corners, and safeties for today's pod. We'll see how this on
What date?
What?
What's the date of the draft?
the 23rd.
Okay.
6 days as of recording, 5 days as of when this comes out. We're gonna see, and then this upcoming Wednesday, you will see our full first round mock draft, just like me and Mex have done the last couple years. You're gonna see me and Evan go picks 1 through 32, no trade, first round mock draft, give our picks, our predictions for how we see the draft night to play out. It's gonna be completely wrong because we don't do trades in ours, and I do feel like we're gonna see a boatload of trades in this year's draft. But Dwyer, anything else before we depart today?
Nah, man.
Well, thank you guys all for watching today's episode of the Untouchaballs podcast. If you did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and comment who do you guys have as your top edge, corner, and safeties in this year's NFL draft? Is there someone that we didn't mention that you guys like even better? Turn on post notifications so you never miss an upload of the Untouchaballs podcast, and share this with your friends, family, strangers, neighbors, anything like that. You got something, Evan?
Yeah. We gotta get to 50 subs, everybody. We need one more.
Road to 50. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.